Guys, have you realized that there was first a boom of buying plots as an investment? The secondary boom came when people realized ni kama plots ni kulalisha pesa. So they started buying apartments for Airbnbs and renting out. But I feel like the third hype, and who made the money in the first one? It was the people who were able to get money, subdivide plots and sell. In the second hype, it was the developers who could develop smaller units, 1, 2, 3 million shillings for Airbnbs. Now, the third hype that is coming is going to be stocks. It is not crypto, it is not betting, it is not forex. It is going to be stocks. So, for you to access the NSC, probably it will cost you about 25 million to 50 million. If you're starting a stock brokerage firm, it would cost about 250 million if you're setting up an investment bank. But who's going to make the real money? I think it's the investment banks here. It's also the brokers or the introducers, people who come and pitch to you and get a commission to take you to the investment bank. But just look at, like now I was watching, definitely watched him, the guy who broke the bank in KPLC, bought at 1.8 shillings, that went up to about 14 shillings. That's about 7 times, they invest, or 7, 8 times the number, the multiples. So you're able to look at any meter in an up to like 8 million. And then now look at the stockbroker in between, makes about 1 or 2% very quietly. Whether the trade was to go up or down, they don't lose, right? I think those are the guys who are going to make the most money in the next hype. And it's not just a hype, I think it's important because by the way I sat down and looked at, if you bought a plot last year that for 1 million, it is still worth maybe 1 million or 1.1, right? You bought an apartment, maybe what you've made is maybe not more than 10% in a year. But the people who invested in KPLC at 1.8 right now are having a multiple of 7, and they were paid 60% because now they bought at 1.8 and then they were paid 1 shilling dividend per share. So imagine somebody was also paid again another like 60% of the amount. So they bought 1 million shillings worth of shares. They were paid 600,000 as dividends. And next year they'll also maybe earn another dividend. I think something worth looking at. I'm not a guru in that, but I think if tunaweza tu fungua ki stock broking firm ama ki investment bank, just sit in the middle. Just thinking of the shovels and the levy of the industry, not definitely going to dig the gold. What do you think? Is it a smart move? Is it a stupid move? Or how do we accelerate our learning of stocks and investments? Because if you look at, I was looking at the analysis of most of our companies in NSC, and they're undervalued by about 50, 60, 70%. Most of them. Meaning, hata tukiekelea tu saa hiyo KPLC, there's still an opportunity of it going up again about 50, 60% before plateau, tupate elections, ianguke. But ufai kupatia watu any investment advice. So, this is not investment advice. It is just thinking out loud.